this is a issue that has to do with cyber crime, the highest of its kind in this country. We are talking about over $100 million.
That Nnamdi Kanu is being held hostage on behalf of the famed unity of Nigeria. That's what it's all about. It's as simple as that.
Oh, this is the highest crime. This is the highest crime. This is the highest crime.
We against anyone going to the social media, taking up pictures and videos, right, airing out fake stories. Go to the police station and ask the police officers who investigated the case, or go to court where the case is and do your finding.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News. Remember we make a video about Sowore, how the video of him challenging the Wonko in High Court link out. We reported the news. So a lot of people were asking what was actually going on in the court and all of that, despite we try as much as possible to throw more light. Now, Arise TV News, of course, Sowore to come and give 2 cents about the cyber crimes and DSS, Nnamdi Kanu, and the whole case that have been going on with him for the past 3 years and how the court case is playing out. So I'm going to be leaving you guys with this particular video of him on Arise TV News during the interview section and what he said, why the Nigerian government refused to release Nnamdi Kanu. According to Sowore, he said that he's threatening the real estate of Nigeria. The reason he says so, I want you guys to watch the video. We'll be right back to do some messages set to it.
One day I was coming out of the Court of Appeal and some policemen came. That was while I was restricted to Abuja. Don't forget I was restricted to Abuja for 3 years by a judge. And they said there was another petition against me. And I went to the office and they said, a so-called billionaire, I think his name is Nnamdi, said, we wrote a report on Sahara reporters at that time against him. And as a result, I've committed a cyber crime. First, they said it was a penal code, of defamation, and they wanted me to write this. I said, I'm not writing any statement. Next few days, they took me before a judge, and that was 2021, and said they're charging me for cyber crime. And the judge didn't make any determination until the treasonable felony trial was over. The federal government came, the same judge, Justice Unwite, the federal government came and said, we're no longer interested in the treasonable felony, and the judge ruled a week later that I should come back for trial for this side. So we came back on May 2nd for the trial, and still they were unable to arraign me because we protested strongly that I can't be served as the alter ego of Sahara reporters. Reason being that the president of Nigeria today is one of the biggest publishers of news. And before he became president, nobody charged him for cybercrime for stories on The Nation or what he did on his TV station. I heard he has over 7 radio stations. He has never been arrested or even questioned before. So I'm a publisher too. Why am I targeted? But I understand that they're doing it because they have issues with me. They have an axe to grind with me. And so, but I told them, you have to respect that Sahara Reporters is a separate entity from myself. And if you want to dispute any story, you can write a rejoinder first. Secondly, you can go to a civil court. You have no right to be using the instrumentality of a cybercrime law to harass people. And as we speak, a young journalist has been in detention for the last 5 days, kidnapped from Lagos, over a story he wrote about a former special assistant to Buhari on SDG, a former official, about corruption in the SDG. We went to see the police. Why are you holding this guy? They gave us bail conditions that made it sound like the guy killed somebody. Go and bring 2 directors with landed property. Well, like even the people who are stealing billions in this country don't get those kind of stringent. And this is police administrative bail condition now. And then we later found out that they're punishing the guys from FIJ, Nigeria, that's this Foundation for Investigative Journalists, because they wrote a story that the IG was linked with a smuggler. That's what happened. So this is where we are in 2024, sedition all over again. But I understand that they are using all of these encumbrances to stand in my way so that we will not get to it's a distraction. So I won't get to that destination that I promised myself when I entered the university. When I was 10 years old, I will break the back of oppression in this country and bring prosperity and development to bear on Nigeria. And you can imagine, and we were having a conversation before I came, that your family is in the UK. You know, you can imagine how I felt in the last 1.5 months in the US, how the world has moved beyond and above us, and where we're still. It's like we are dragging ourselves. We will take one step forward and 50 backwards.
Yeah, it can be depressing.
It's very depressing, you know, but instead of being depressed, we should all unite and end our misery. I did say, while I was being tried and suppressed and oppressed, that I would never leave Nigeria under any circumstance. And I will only live on my own terms and come back on my own terms. And I've said repeatedly that I could have left if I wanted, even though my passports were seized. I knew all the routes to get out of this country. I used to help people get in and out of Nigeria through what we call the Nadeco routes. But this time around, I said I wasn't going anywhere.
Well, I hope they're not going to come after you for saying you helped people get in and out.
Because the person who is president of Nigeria today
used
to pass through that route himself.
That was the
that was how he left Nigeria.
During military rule.
So he's a very is one of the people who uses that route. So and they couldn't close it after they started coming through the legal routes. But I don't do that anymore either. I come in and out through what they call illegal routes. That's why I waited for my passport to be returned to me, because it was my property. And when I left, I decided to come back, which was a promise I made that I'll be back.
Well, I'm sure your supporters will be very glad to see that you're back, and we're very happy to have you here on Arise News. So has that monster of your arrests, rearrests, and court appearances now returned to the shadows? Has that lemon been fully squeezed, as they say, or is there more to come, and we should expect the knives of the DSS to be out again for you?
Actually, I came back primarily to attend to another court case. I have another criminal trial that was put in place before I left.
That's the cyber crime case.
Yeah. So and I promised the judge I'll be back, and I came back for that. I cannot promise anybody, I can't even promise myself that I won't get into trouble again, because this is the job and the work we do. It's the job of conscience. And when you fight against the monsters that are holding your country down, they are bound to come after you at all times. And by the way, the DSS still has refused to return my funds to me, even though there's a court order to that effect. And they also haven't paid me several court awards that was given during my last 5 years here, saying that they violated my rights. So the violations are still in place, and I'm sure they will do more for as long as I do what I do.
I'm talking about violations. It's been said that the DSS and the Buhari administration didn't just cut legal corners in their attempt to nail you. I mean, they drove past the whole block. But still, in the face of all that, here you are standing tall, at least on the surface. But how much would you say you've lost in your sort of obdurate battle with the Nigerian authorities? How much of a stain has it left behind?
You know, nobody should be counting their losses when the battle and the war is not yet over. So we're still at it, and there's no point at this point saying this is what I lost intrinsically. This is what I came to do in this life, and I'm going to do it. And history will judge losses, and will judge. It's not about profit. So I'm here as a witness to history and a participant in it.
But what
and I
they've
did
done
say,
to you must have.
Oh yes, I mean there's some of it. Yeah, you know, the biggest is probably the separation from family. I left my kids when they were toddlers, and by the time I went back, they were full-grown adults. When I left the U.S. in 2019, I was the second tallest person in the house, my wife being the first. When I went back, I was the shortest person in the house. So that, well, what you must know is that Nnamdi Kanu is being held hostage on behalf of the famed unity of Nigeria. That's what it's all about. It's as simple as that. If you mention his name in certain circles, they don't want to hear it because they feel like he threatens the real estate called Nigeria. And his Igbo makes it worse because Nigeria's DNA hates the Igbo for attempting, you know, in the 60s and, you know, towards the end of the 70s, to leave a country they said is no longer favorable to their existence. But I keep saying, and I will repeat here again, is there any Nigerian out there in their majority who has not mentally seceded from Nigeria? Not many. That's why people are living in droves. Each time you get on a plane leaving this country is full, each time it's coming back, probably full too, but it is those who are coming back to pack their things that are coming back. That's the way I describe it. But the truth is that Nnamdi Kanu has been held hostage. He was abducted from Kenya, extraordinary rendition. The fact that he's kidnapped from Kenya could not be explained shows that any judicial pronouncement or processes after that is null and void. You cannot go and kidnap somebody and bring them before a court. And the courts have made it very clear, even up to the Supreme Court, that he did not jump bail. It was the military that went to his house to kill people, and then he escaped. And now you have brought him back, you ought to respect and restore his bail. That's what I told his lawyers. Why are you applying for bail again? Because the Supreme Court made all the pronouncements except releasing him. And I think it was because they were afraid. And that's why I say he's a hostage to this country. And like you rightly said, there are other people who have made even more egregious pronouncements and fought and carried arms in this country. And you have not treated them the same way because they're not Nnamdi Kanu's, their name don't sound East. And I'm not here to fetish being able. But the reality is that they are not treated fairly. And Nnamdi Kanu is part of the reason why that is clear to everybody.
Right.
And by the way, I must also reveal here that there are some Igbo elites who are behind this. Whenever there's a crime of conspiracy against freedom fighters, there are people inside and outside who are working together.
So, but my own personal opinion about it is just that I quite understand that truly, Nnamdi Kanu is really threatening the real estate of the country because him coming out from the prison, definitely the things that have been moving on smoothly between these corrupted politicians will no longer play out. Remember that he's a strong bona fide member of Biafra and even is the godfather of Biafra after Ojukwu. Now, ever since they arrested him unlawfully, or he was extracted from Kenya to Nigeria and have been held hostage for I think since 2 years plus now, you see how the crisis in Southeast are skyrocketing. And people are saying that some of these crises are not caused by the ESN. Some are saying that this is not caused by the Igbo people. There are just some hoodlums within the Southeast that are constituting nuisance or the name of Biafra. But a lot of people are also saying that these are politicians trying to play my game in order for the government to keep Nnamdi Kanu in check. So that they say, oh, despite Nnamdi Kanu in the prison, look at what his boys are doing. Imagine you release him today. Oh, things will really get out of hand. But there was a video of Nnamdi Kanu saying that if you release him within 1 day, 44 hours or be 24 hours, definitely will stop peace. He's not just exaggerating. For me personally, I know that the Southeast, I believe anybody that speaks Igbo listen to Nnamdi Kanu.
And they know it very well. They know it very well. And I suspect that some people in government are complicit. They are making money with insecurity. That's correct. They are making money with it. They know now the Kanu is outside. In 2 minutes, this nonsense will stop. Who is the who is the bagger? That will speak when I'm talking. Who is the who is the I ask. That I give an order in the east and any to counter it. Who is the I'm asking you.
So, sir,
nobody can.
Sir, are you against?
I'm not the Kanu.
No.
Who is the form of violence or insecurity in the southeast in the name of IPOB is a wrong, and they know it. Let me come out of this nonsense, this mess. 2 minutes only. Only 2 minutes, I guarantee you. And there'll be peace in the east, not just southeast. Everywhere in the east, not the entire south. Huh?
Before I was thinking that it was the former president Buhari that kept him hostage. Now that Buhari is no longer in power, maybe with his influence might still keep him there because the beef that Nnamdi Kanu has with Nigeria was mostly between him and ex-president Buhari because he was calling him a clown, calling him fake, calling him a clone, calling him all kinds of names, and it was zombies and all of that. But after he arrested him, now he's no longer in power. I believe that if truly that they want to release him, the current president Bola Ahmed Tinubu can just also make that call for them to release him. We have seen a lot of Indugbo people going to the courts to solicit and even plead with the government by going to the Aso Rock to see the president talk one-on-one for them to release Nnamdi Kanu. But it still seems to be like, no, they don't want to release him. Like Sowore said, there are lots of Igbo people that don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. I don't really know why. Maybe they're benefiting from him. Like there was a video that I watched from the former courts that they said for Nnamdi Kanu to appear in court, it cost them 500 million. When I heard that, I was like, no, it doesn't make sense to me. 500 million. I don't see any security agency that had that kind of amount of money just by protecting Nnamdi Kanu going to court and leading him back with 500 million. We want to release Nnamdi Kanu.
The government is spending every day. Nnamdi Kanu is coming. They told us they spend 500 million naira. Somebody is signing off that check. Somebody is signing it off. Who is signing off? Who is making money from it? Extra allowances are being paid to all the security men who are in Abuja because of Nnamdi Kanu. It's your money. And we have been saying the case of Nnamdi Kanu is not such that we need to spend scarce resources on. The federal government is crying about money. They don't have money, but they have all the money to pay all the security agencies. If you go outside, not less than 1,000 security agencies are on patrol in Abuja because of one single man. And tomorrow they will tell us they don't have money to pay salary of workers. So,
But the reason they bring Kanu to court is they make a lot of money from bringing him to court. They spend an average of 500 million naira per bringing him to court. So, yes.
Who makes that money?
It's the DSS. Yes, yes. The DSS budget is not scrutinized like everyone. It's just spent.
It's like security votes.
So they just say, we are taking Kanu to court. So we brought this number of
cases. Need this number.
We block everywhere. All our security agents are there. Blah blah blah. It's all the scam. So all those paparazzi you are saying.
This is the kind of revelations that we bring forth when we have our amazing interviews on IC Magazine. The continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu within the DSS premises of the Nigerian government is a money-making scheme for the DSS.
You can quote me anywhere, anything.
For every court appearance that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out for, the DSS makes as much as 500 million naira.
Yes.
You are hearing that from somebody who has been in that same position where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been. And as such, if an organization like the DSS makes that much money, do you think they would want to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
Never.
So we see where his continuous detention is coming from.
Not going anywhere.
No judge, just like our guest has said, no judge has found anything incriminating about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
He's been discharged twice.
He's been discharged twice.
Even the Supreme Court said it, that it was Nigerian government that violated his bail by invading his compound. That he didn't jump bail. That was what the Supreme Court ruled. But in their own usual confusion and rigmarole, they said, well, let him still go back and answer the rest of the charges. So what the judge would have done is to reinstate his bail, since it was the army that went to get his bail. But it's Nigeria now.
But if truly what they said in this video, that 500 million is what they are paying every time Nnamdi Kanu appeared, definitely, I don't think they want to release him. If it is you, imagine somebody is in your custody, and anytime you take this person outside your custody to the court, you make 500 million. Just be sincere. Would you allow that person to go scot-free, knowing that this person, you are benefiting a lot for him? Even when the federal government will say release him, they will not even want to release him. That is just what I'm thinking. But I will leave it to you guys. What do you guys think about what is going on? What do you think about what Sowore said? Why do you think that Nnamdi Kanu is still head hostage, despite everything that man have done, despite all the lawyers that have stood for him, to fight for him, to set him free? But it still looks like as if the case is just getting newer and newer every day. The moment we thought we are getting to the edge, automatically you see that the case is fresh. What is going on? Me personally, I don't know. I believe there are first-class people who understand the law, or there are people that are also in government who also understand politics. If you're a legal practitioner, please comment your thoughts about this in the legal terms. If you're a security agency, please also comment your thoughts. If you're just a normal concerned Nigerian, please comment your thoughts. If you're Ndigbo or Biafra or IPOP, comment your thoughts. Please, let's just rub mind together and tell me, why do you think that Nnamdi Kanu is still held hostage and this case is just being prolonged? One moment they said they reduced the 30 count charge to 3. The next moment you will see they increase it to 7 count charge. The next thing you see there's 10 count charge. They're just beating around the bush and they don't want to release this guy. And on the other hand, every time this guy appears in court, he's always on one uniform. Why is it so? I don't really know. Is it like he's not allowed to have other uniform? I don't know. Please also comment. All right, this is where we're going to be ending the video today. Remember, we love you, but God love you more. If you love us, the only way you can show your love to us is to like this video, comment your thoughts about this video in the comment section, share this video to all your platforms. Above it all, subscribe. If you do, please turn on your notification bell so that you wouldn't miss out our future uppost. Remember, I'm begging you guys to subscribe because it's just remaining like this for me to get to 100,000 so that YouTube will recognize my channel and give me this YouTube award and bring it to you guys and celebrate it with you. I love you guys. I know you guys can make it happen. Just subscribe. It takes you nothing, like that red button, as they say. So just subscribe. Click on. It will not take dime from you. It will not hurt to your. It will not decrease your data. It will not hurt to your payment. It will not reduce your payment. It means nothing. You just subscribe. That's what YouTube call it. Just as Facebook call it follow. TikTok call it follow. Instagram call it follow. YouTube call it subscribe. So don't think if you subscribe for me and they will take money from you. It's just free. Please subscribe. I love you. Remember, stay blessed. Until we meet again. Peace out.